Good morning and welcome to another edition of From the Desk of Dan White. And we usually open these videos with a little market commentary. And what can I tell you? The roller coaster continues. We're up, we're down. It's kind of what the market has done most of the year. If you go back a week ago, it was over before it began again. For a few hours on last Saturday, it appeared the U.S. military was ramping up a large-scale attack on Iran, only for it to be called off at the last minute by the White House. And forgive us, you've heard that more or less a few times in 2026. But this wasn't entirely a broken record sequence of events. Turns out Iranian cyber attacks could be behind last week's disruption of public water systems in at least 7 U.S. states. So reports started surfacing last week, and by early Saturday evening, we were reading that President Donald Trump was threatening to shut off all the electricity in Tehran, Iran's capital, and the U.S. State Department issued a public alert urging all U.S. citizens to consider leaving the Middle East. But then, nothing happened. Trump wrote on Truth Social around 10 p.m. Saturday, while the U.S. was locked and loaded and ready to go, the threat was off. We've been waiting on that deal. Trump agreed to cancel attacks subject to being able to rapidly make a deal to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. And we've been waiting on that deal for about 4 months now. And yet the market reacted as if that was all that mattered. Oil futures dropped about 5%. In 24 hours, the major U.S. stock indexes all gained at least 1%. We hit a new all-time high. It's Groundhog Day. How long can this cycle of Iran risk on, risk off continue? We're not sure, but it keeps happening, and it hasn't broken the bull market yet. I did a radio show the other morning, and I said at worst, you'd say the U.S. stock market has been very, very resilient. It just shrugs off all this stuff. And at best, you could say it's invincible. It's just going to keep going up. But on the other hand, it's been a volatile year in oil, commodities, and the market in general. And I kind of expect that volatility to continue. And beyond that, we're, by the time when I'm taping this, we're still waiting this coming Friday for the jobs report. It comes out Friday morning. The unemployment rate stood at 4.2 as of June. We'll get another read on that later this week. And these numbers matter because of what they'll show about the health of the labor market. That not only signals the health of the economy, but it also influences Federal Reserve policy moving forward. And you may remember when the Fed met this past month, three governors voted to hike rates, and they ended up keeping rates the same. So again, these job reports, inflation reports, they kind of will dictate what the Fed will do. And as we sit here, we're waiting on another agreement. The agreement will put a ceasefire back in place. It is what it is. This is what we've been dealing with most of the summer. It's supposed to be a very short war. Turns out it hasn't been that short of a war. So, the question is, the way we position your assets, with the safe bucket and the growth bucket, I don't think it's time to get all out of the market. I don't think it's time to jump in. I think you need to have that proper allocation between risk and safety. So moving on to our mailbag, this goes hand in hand with what's been going on. One of the questions we get a lot is, how do I protect what I've built? Most of the people come in here, they've been saving and investing for 30, 40 years. They built up a nice nest egg, and, they don't want to blow a motor on the last lap of the race. So how do you protect it? Well, several ways. You could take some risk off the table. Chances are the market's had 3 great years. You have a lot of gains built up in your portfolio. You want to take some of those gains off the table. That's one way to do it. You can shift to safer investments, and you can lock in gains by setting up more guaranteed income. So I think we do that for most of our clients, and they have a nice mix of safety and growth. But if you are concerned about it, give the office a call, and we can reevaluate your situation. Upcoming events, we have, right around the corner, we have a Blue Rocks game Friday, August the 21st. By the time this airs, the deadline for registration will have passed. So if you have missed signing up for the Blue Rocks game, you can call Chris at our office. You can arm wrestle with her, see if she allows you to attend. That's between you and her. But yeah, the registration is passed. It is filled up. We have a lot of people coming, but that is Friday, August the 21st. And then we have our Phillies referral event. That's going to be taking place on Thursday, September the 24th in the Giles Party Suite at Citizens Bank Park. And there's still plenty of time. The way you get an invite to that, you refer a guest of 55 plus years or older to either attend a seminar or come in for a consultation. And once they either come to the seminar or come in for a consultation, you get an invite to the Philly Suite. So still plenty of time to do that. And that's filling up as well. Again, limited amount of tickets in the Giles Suite. And then the last thing, reviews. We love getting reviews for Middletown, Glen Mills, and Lewis. So if you have a Gmail account, and first, we really do appreciate all the reviews our clients have given us. It helps us in the search engines and so forth. So if you have a Gmail account and would like to give us a review, we would certainly encourage you to do that. On a personal note, by the time this airs, I will be spending a week in Ocean City, New Jersey. So I don't know how I picked the 2 hottest weeks of the year for my vacation, but I was down July 4th and it was 100 degrees. And I think next week it's supposed to be back in those temperature ranges again. So, but I hope everybody's enjoying the last couple weeks of summer. I mean, football is right around the corner. School is starting again. And we're going to get back full gear into the fourth quarter very quickly. So until next month, this has been another edition of From the Desk of Dan White. I hope everybody has a great week.